Okay, anyway.
Hi guys.
Hi.
How you doing?
I'd like to say thanks for the other day. It was a lovely booth for us. Pleasure to start with.
Yeah, it
Done
was
very
good
well. Have fun?
Yeah, you?
Yeah.
Great.
Apparently.
My name's Dan and this is Dan.
Hi, Dan.
And we both come from the bar background. Throughout studying and all the other jobs we've always kind of worked in bars. And the bars we've worked in, high end, low end, and all the bars, none of them served alcohol pops because they're seen as a social faux pas. No, if someone comes in and asks for WKD, we tell them where to go. It's literally around the corner. There's an off license there, and then the park's just 15 minutes down the road. That's the general answer they get. So we was thinking, how are we going to reposition what you're doing as a high-end drink in a bottle? It's a fruit drink in a bottle. It's not an alcohol. It was a really, really nice, like, it refreshed the palate when we drank it. It was really nice. We liked it, didn't we? It was good at the party.
Yeah. So we found the insight that what people do while they're drinking and how they act reflects who they are, and especially what they're drinking reflects who they are. So if you see someone with a dirty martini, you probably think like sophistication or doing it to look cool. And we kind of figured that in order to place your product where we feel it should be placed, it needs to be socially
Acceptable to drink it.
and aspirational, but not in a financial term where I want to aspire to be rich enough to get it to scare people off, but aspirational to be seen drinking it, to be in the right place at the right time drinking it, and to make you that person to be. And so we went with the name Alchemy. It's basically
Spelled French way.
Alchemy is it's not the process of making something out of nothing, but it's the process of increasing and improving something that already exists.
Which kind of leads into what?
So it derives from the French term alchemy, but we've dropped the E, and there's also past Egyptian terms that is for mixture and to mix, and it's basically taking things that are good and making them even better, and that's what you've done. You've taken products that and like core and base ingredients and making something really quite great out of it. Because we love the product and we love you guys, but the name just did not do it justice. Just all the instant connotations. It
was really weird because at the party, some people loved it and then other people hated it. And I asked a few people who loved it if they go into a bar and ask for Swallow, and quite a few of the girls were scared of the bar person turning around and going, do you?
Yeah.
So they was like, we can't. Yeah. So
we did Google Swallow do you as well. And we were going to show you, but you don't want to see that stuff. It's horrible.
Can imagine.
So we kind of want to launch with this kind of graphic. That will kind of kick you off using that. That shape is taken from the periodic table. So because you guys.
So that would be the logo.
Because you guys take elements or you take ingredients and you put them together. And we wanted to set up a system where, so say your original two flavours took up 2 blocks out of it. Oh, you can say there's 100 blocks in it. We could run an annual competition where you have to stock your products in order to have one of your bartenders or some of them enter the competition, and you have an annual signature drink from London or wherever.
Whoever wins.
Eventually, once you get into the Mediterranean resorts and into the places where you want to get them, you can have five a year annual signature drinks and make an international pack or whatever. And then over time, you'll slowly fill up this table. Once you drop them at the end of the year, a new one comes in, it'll be held back, and then you can release like a collection of ones that have passed.
So you can create like classic drinks.
Yeah. And we've done some.
So it's a system, because you were really passionate. The passion you came across of like you doing all the mixology stuff, coming in, finding the right blends and the right mixes, and so that we thought, why don't you share that passion and challenge other bar people, because that's your background as well.
Yeah.
So why don't you share that passion? And because that way, then the bar people are going to promote your product because it's not seen as an alcohol pop; it's seen as something more.
They had exactly the same thought.
Yeah, so they're not gonna.
Because if you can seed it through the bartenders, they're point of sale. And if you get 5 bartenders in one bar serving 100 people a night, that's 500 people that now know about your product. Because if they upsell it, because they want to have their name eventually on it, it's 500 people, they tell all their mates. It's a lot of people from 5 people entering the competition. And we've done some research and asked some people, and like brand ambassadors that we used to work with, and reps and people are quite interested. I said that it's still in R&D, and I can't really say too much, but if we get the go-ahead, they'd love to get their hands on it and see where to take it and whether they would go for it. And we're figuring the perfect serve. Although this doesn't quite illustrate it, this is how these are the graphics we'd like to go with. The perfect serve, it would be from a screw top bottle, still the normal size, but tall over ice, just to differentiate it from that bottle, because obviously you keep it chilled so you can drink it out of the bottle, but it gives it that little something special. And for the action of literally taking it out the crown top and just popping the top off, even that small action, you don't get any interaction with the bartender. But waiting 10 minutes for a cocktail, you don't want that long. So I think you get just enough time for them to open it and for you to wait and to get a bit of passion through into the drink, and then you finally you get it without having to wait too long.
We understood what you were saying about you wanted to use crown top, but a screw top I don't think is that much more or that much less.
No, it's not. The money is not a big issue.
It's a generic shape.
It's more expensive, but
Nothing major.
Yeah.
Because if like all premium things come with a screw top, bar wine where it's kind of flipped on its head, where if you get caught it's probably a better sign than a screw top, but this isn't wine. So, but we would want the bottles to be frosted with a relief as where the graphic would be, so you could see the colour through it. It wouldn't be like bright on it and having to have a label to cover it up. So it kind of.
That's expensive.
It is expensive.
Very expensive.
A wrap.
Wrap was really trashy.
we just went
If you're doing a
to
premium drink, to put a wrap on it.
Last week we
that's
went
why
to
we
the
went, that's why we
food
went with frosted.
and drink exhibition at Excel, and we went for looking for label and everything.
Right.
And the frosted paper label we found it's not really nice.
It
You know,
doesn't
you,
work.
like you get
Yeah.
the junction of the paper on the back, they make like a big.
Yeah, the strip.
So and we think we had this option to in our mind to do a frost bottle, but
It's a great
it's another
concept, but I
cost.
think it's quite complicated.
It's another cost.
I think it's whether or not you can put your concept across to people.
Right.
And there's a lot of, you'd have to do an awful lot of marketing to get that across.
Yeah, because we kind of figured that intelligence and to be clever is sexy, but to be overly clever isn't. So I think it kind of, if people are intelligent enough to get it and to kind of understand it, then we kind of we want people to kind of feel like they're good enough to have it, but we don't want to position it in the mainstream where anyone can get their hands on it. We want to position just outside it. So you can't initially get it in retail in supermarkets, but you can get it in most good bars. So you kind of feel
Then you're seeding it.
you feel exclusivity, but it's exclusive to pretty much everyone. So everyone feels exclusive, and most people want that. So with our print, we kind of go really minimal in the bars, just to kind of get a little bit of a buzz around it before you like properly launch. But with a soft launch, we kind of go for stuff like you are boutique, not high street, and go for where to go, not who to follow. So it kind of get things where people be like, oh yeah, most people think, oh, I'm boutique, not high street, or I'm better than the next person, and so everyone can relate to it, but probably not be true, and make them feel better about themselves even before they even know what it is, what it's advertising, and then they finally see it, and then they think, oh, I'm good enough to have that.
One of the main points we gathered in the last few weeks, months about marketing is that most of the people, I mean, we all like that, like, we want to have what's above us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's important. That's why we want to target the top. So we know even if the top don't like it because they prefer Crystal Champagne or vodka martini, you know that the other classes below will go for this one because they want to
Yeah, well,
to look like, to
Personally,
be like, to.
I wouldn't put it as a financially aspirational product because it's going to be what, under £6 retail. Well, in bars under £6.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it. Yeah. So if it's under £6, it's not massively aspirational. Most people can get it. But if it's socially aspirational to be like, oh, I want to be cool enough to be able to drink it, then that's where you've got a market where people will aspire to use your product. Not where people, 9 times out of 10, people will pay for Belvedere or Grey Goose or Hennessy or whatever they do just for that split second where the bartender reaches up and pulls it off the top of the back bar, so they can see everyone around them will be looking at them being, oh, that's the guy who that bottle's going to.
Exactly.
They don't know the difference in most products, but you can literally taste the product of that. You pay £10 on a double shot of Grey Goose and fill it up with 90p's worth of Coke. What is the point? So there is a reason in paying that little bit extra. I wouldn't put it purposely out of the reach of normal people just so they aspire to get it, because you might just go straight over their heads, and because they'll be happy drinking what they drink already.
Okay.
I think it's just a bit hard to imagine the drink not being retail. 'Cause
Not being retail.
Yeah,
no,
because the
Straight away.
the off-trade business, it's
Yeah.
quite big, so it's hard to say we don't go there.
I
I understand
We
the
were just talking
strategy.
about seeding it for a year or like for a short term in
Yeah.
good bars, so that you get
Yeah.
so you can only get them in that bars and then creating a demand. And then when you go to have it in the supermarket, you're in a better position than what you would if you went straight to the supermarket.
And you're not going to build a hype around a product. No one's going to travel to a stockist of this. Because I've been to bars before thinking, oh, I've heard this place has got this, like a product called Tuaca. It kind of like came over from Italy, branched out through Brighton. So most places in Brighton have got it, but now I'm in London, kind of you find it and you get excited and you always buy one. So that's a kind of you find it in the bars and then you find what bars have it. Because bars have cool drinks and what cool people drink. Like in the bar you work in, is it Moretti?
Yeah, we
Like-
only serve one at a time. We will serve a few beers, but one's £6 pint, and that gets sold quicker than the £3.50 style, just because
It's
of what
not-
it is and what it comes in. And
People who go there, they don't go for the quantity, they go for the
yeah.
the quality.
Is it the quality or is it? I saw that guy's drinking and he looks quite cool, and I aspire socially to be like him.